Howdy folks, Alternative here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we're going to finish the New Zealand and North Island bush trip, leg 7 and 8 in this video. I assume you've watched the first two videos, so you already know what's going on. Let's get started right away. Alright, the sun is really starting low for this leg. Let's repair and refuel. And zoom this thing way out. We're also facing opposite direction. We learned that mistake in the last leg, I think it was. Like something like that. Where are we headed for this leg? We're headed to Whiskey Uniform, which looks like it's right there. So out to the coast and along the coast. Very, very, very simple. We're not going to go up the mountain. We're just going to go next to it, beeline for the coast, and then head on down. So I'm out of breath because I just had to run upstairs for something. Flaps, we got flaps. One flap, good. And where do they put us on the runway? Oh yeah, I think we got plenty of space. What? I'm trying to figure out where the runway. Yeah. Plenty of space. All right, let's enjoy the scenery for a minute. There's the sun rising in the northeast, and then a big mountain, which we're going to read about in a moment, and then down to Wellington. Well, not this section, but the next leg we'll reach Wellington. All right. Mount Taranaki. After launching from the Aerodrome, set a course to the southwest for Mount Taranaki. It's a prominent stratovolcano that rises out the Tasman Sea at an altitude of 8,200 feet, making it the second largest highest peak in the Northland. Speaking of peaks, let's get our autopilot set up. We'll stay quite low for this one. Let's just stay at 3 grand for this. Flight director is actually, let me try something first. If I do, nope, it's wrong. It's wrong again. So we're going to use half descending bug, like we did in the last video. So we'll use heading. Let's do vertical speed, 1100 feet per minute. Come down here for pitot heat and de-ice. And our first heading is what? 207. So we want to go this way to 207. Pretty straight forward, and then we'll read about after the mountain. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do the mountain, that's obvious, and after that we fly southwest and sight the South Taranaki Bight, a large bay anchored on its north end by a prominence of land formed by the mountain. That's right here, obviously. Big bay. And then the city of Hauera lies at the junction of State Highway 3 and State Highway 45. And then after that, Mana Bay, follow the coastline and head to Mana Bay, a popular beach area where the rivers meet. So we'll fly by the mountain, 1 bay, 2 bay, where there's a nice beach, and then we'll start talking again about the rest of the leg. So let's not make it any longer than it needs to be. I think we're ready to go. Let's take parking brake off and firewall this thing, and hope that there's enough space to take off so you don't have to abort. And let me turn on my personal volume. It's probably very loud for you. And we'll fly this penultimate leg. I also learned there's some other words. Penultimate. First of all, ultimate is the last. Penultimate is second to last. Antepenultimate is third to last. Pre-antepenultimate is fourth to last. So I'm going to try to work those into as many conversations as I can. Brakes to stop the wheels. Flaps or gears coming up. And now that we're over the trees, let's gently turn to the left. Flaps coming in. We'll hand fly for a moment. And then we'll use autopilot just because we can. We don't need to use autopilot. But we have hand flown so many flights lately with the Spirit of St. Louis flights and a few others that I'm using autopilot because it's a lot less exhausting. And I'm pretty sure the plane we get for the other New Zealand trip also allows us to use autopilot. Let's actually turn this, let's turn this back this way so then we can engage autopilot. There we go. Not the smoothest handoff, but it worked. Where's our airplane? Let's do this. Hello. There you go. Try to work in some screenshots maybe as we go by, but not until the co-pilot is done talking to us. So I'm going to fly by the mountain. We'll see 2 bays when we get to waypoint 46. We will discuss the remainder of this leg. Pretty straightforward stuff. You've seen it all before, but it's nice scenery to look at nonetheless. And I'll see you. Everything good here? I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, there's the river, there's the town. I don't see any sandy beaches though when I was looking outside, but we have to take their word for it. So let's read about the next thing here. I know these don't say claps, but anyway. Continue on the southerly course following the coastline to the beach. And after that, we're going to look for Castle Cliff Beach. Volcanic black sand beaches. That'll be cool. And then we get to land at a normal airport right after the Whanganui River. So there we go. So coastline, black sanded beach, and the airport. That's all I had to say. I'm just adjusting my heading just to follow the coastline. I'm not using any specific heading or anything. It's a VFR trip after all. Looks like it should be a straight in approach though, so that'll be pretty cool. Coastline, black sand beach, and then immediately after is the airport. So that's all I have to say. See you in another minute or two, and then we'll land. Alright, so somewhere out there is a runway. I'm trying to get an idea of the picture here and what it's going to look like. It's just on the sandbar. More than a sandbar, but it's on this peninsula. Right where it meets and tucks in the little armpit area. Well, that's not such a big deal. Let's turn back a little. And look for it. Okay, right there. Well, that's easy. Alright, cool. Time to turn off the autopilot machine and dive on down. Lose some altitudage. Look out here, you can see the South Island. I'm coming into view. More South Island over there. I know the gear. Fine, I'll put the gear down. And there is your sandy beach with black volcanic sand, by the way. Let's see here. More beach up here. See how it's all black sand, but apparently up there is where it's supposed to be the most exciting. So let's see here. We're heading straight for the airport. Not in sight yet, not rendered in, but that's fine. Let's look outside one last time. Oh, we're gonna have the HUD, but that's okay. I'm concentrating on something. Sun is still coming up, mountains still in the background, and it looks like we're nosediving, but we're not. Let's see. Anything else we need to do to prepare? Nope. We're just gonna try not to get distracted. Looks like there's a nice city here to look at. Maybe for the next leg we'll pop up in the drone and have a look at it. But otherwise, getting pretty close here. We do have one more leg left, but it's just over to Wellington, very close by. And gears down. We'll get flaps down in a minute. Let's not get too low too soon, though. We'll totally lose sight of the airport and where we're going. Trying to get an idea for the black sanded beach. Yeah, I can kind of tell from the satellite imagery, but I guess we're supposed to be focused on finding the plane. Alright, there's a nice big town here. And let's slow down. Nose up to slow down. Throttles back so we don't climb. And we'll get first set of flaps out. And I don't... Oh! Here's the runway. I'm looking for like a little tiny runway right here. But no, it's this huge thing. Well, I can't miss that. Goodness gracious. Full flapping was a little early. I just want to slow down so we can see this town. I was thinking like this black strip was our runway. Nope. We have a real runway to land on this time, which we knew, but anywho, nice looking town. That car's going kind of fast for the down. 1 and 3, there we go, there's your view of the city. Alrighty, focus a little bit, although this is going to be much easier than the previous two. Alright, 2 and 2, everything forward, even though put your props in the red, but it'll be okay for now. And try not to get distracted by everything. Slowing up a little bit here, although this runway is so big we don't have to like touch on that stall or anything. Some of those mountain bush trips though, man, remember we'd have to like stall 10 feet above the ground, smack it to the ground, hit the brakes, and barely had enough room. Then we'd have to like start beyond the runway to take off in the mountains. Some of those are pretty hairy. We haven't had an incredibly difficult bush trip in a long time, although I have a feeling the South Island New Zealand bush trip might get a little hairy if we're going to go to some of the locations I'm predicting they will send us to. I could be wrong, it could be easy, but we have done some mountain flying in New Zealand before, and it can get really hairy, and I'm assuming some of that will be in that bush trip. That'll be soon though. That's a 5.5 hour bush trip. So here we go. Land just about stall. Let's round out. Let ground effects help. There we go. And smooth. There we go. Nice. Less 100 feet per minute. Alrighty. Whoa. Let that nose go down gently. Flaps coming in. Slam on the brakes. And we'll move on to the next leg here in just a minute. There we go. Final leg right now. Okay, come down here, repair and refuel, although we're hardly using any fuel at all. Now I wanted to come up and look at the city, right? That's what I said we were going to do. Oh, look at the mountain over there. That's cool. The mountain back there. Very nice. Ooh, little trail there of some sort. South Island coming into view if you look in certain areas. That was the pause. I did not mean to do the pause. I meant to go down here. Hop inside. Let's see. I think it's a very simple coastal flight to Wellington. Yeah, look at that. So we can do a really low 3,000 feet. It's already there. Flight director. We'll use the heading bug because it's all screwed up to use GPS. And 1,100 feet per minute. And let's do 1,000 feet per minute. We're not in a hurry. Okay, let's read about what's going to happen here. So first thing we're going to do is lift off and follow the coastline to the tiny beach settlement of Koiteata, which is right here. That sounds simple enough. And then we got a longer section. Fly along the arcing coastline and reach Himatanagi Beach, the location most expansive dune in New Zealand. Okay, so we're gonna look for. We're gonna do a lot of this without me speaking in between. I've done enough talking. So we're gonna look for a tiny beach settlement, an expansive dune field, and then we're gonna go to the community of Hokio Beach. And then we're going to go past a town that is part of the district of Wellington region. So we're coming to Wellington. So we've got a tiny town, dune field, another town, and they're getting to the Wellington suburbs. And we're going to the harbor, which is the inlet of the sea. The city of Parramatta lies on the northeastern aspect of the harbor. And then Wellington Harbor, Wellington Airport, fly over the water to the east end, admiring its skyline of Wellington and land, bringing this journey to an end. And hopefully the servers can keep up and give us everything when we get to Wellington before we try to land, or else I can stutter a little bit, which is not my fault. Okay, so coastline communities, dune field, and then Wellington, and then we'll decide if we're going to land from the north or the south. Doesn't matter in these bush trips. Not much weather to worry about except for the Patagonia one, which I mention all the time. Okay, so we're just going to fly. How long is this supposed to take? Half an hour. It's going to take about 45 minutes probably. I think we have plenty of runway. Let's do one set of flaps. We did everything else. Actually, let's set our heading bug to this for autopilot. And then we're just gonna get there now. Parking brake on or off? I don't know. It's on. Now it's off. There should be enough runway. Do you think there's enough runway? Yeah, there's plenty of runway. Holy cow. Get in the middle, please. Ooh, this is gonna be tight. But I like it tight. So here we go. Okay, 60, 70, yeah, we're good. Pop up, upsy daisy, there we go, brakes to stop the wheels. Are we positive? We are. Gear coming up. Over the trees. And we'll get flaps up now. Look out as we go over these trees. Oh, this is so nice. I love these bush trips so much. I love the scenery, I love the nav log information when it's correct. Sometimes it's screwed up. I love where it brings us to look at areas I wouldn't think of going to. And I love that it keeps you honest, right? You can't just screw around. It'll, you know, make you redo some things if you screw around. Let's get that ready to go. I'll gauge autopilot limited. I'm just climbing because these hills and stuff are kind of steep. All right, bank down a little bit in autopilot. Oh, can't even tell it engaged. That was so smooth. Oh, that was nice. All right, I'm just gonna follow along. Let's bring the props back a little bit. All right, so I'm not gonna talk until we're ready to land. I'm just gonna give you a couple minutes of sightseeing. So this will be a short video, but that's fine. I've done enough talking between the live stream we did the other day and these 3 videos of this bush trip, and the fact they've got it like a, well, it says 5.5 hours. So for me, a 7-hour trip coming up. I'm gonna stop talking. So enjoy the scenery on the way to Wellington. I'll see you when it's time to land. Alright, pulling into Wellington, and the server's giving me stuff because see how jittery it is while it loads it in. Again, that's not performance on my machine, that's just the servers dumping stuff on me all at the same time and disorganized. There's a South Island there, which we will commence. We will take off from, well, there's a little airport. We'll fly that area in the next bush trip, which I don't know when I'm going to record it. I'm going to be taking a little break here from recording bush trips because I've done a lot in a few days while my wife has been in Mexico. By the time you watch this, my wife was in Mexico a long time ago, but as I record this, she's still there, so I'm getting a bunch of flying in and need a little break. So there will be the other New Zealand bush trip for you after editing all this and timing. It might, you know what, it might be right away. It could be tomorrow for all I know when it load or when I upload it for you, but for me, I'm going to take a break before I fly it. That was a terrible wordy way of saying stay tuned. We will fly over there. By there, I mean there. Very soon. Ooh, look at the freeways and things. That's so cool. I'm trying to get an idea of where the airport is here. We're not going to come down yet. We are cruising really fast. That's fine. We can bleed out that speed quickly. I'm just trying to figure out where. Okay, looks like it's right here. Based on the map. Yeah, obviously it is, because where else would it be, right? Well, maybe it's right here, but still you get the idea. So there's the beautiful skyline we're supposed to look at. So let's do this. We can look at the skyline. Let's come down to 1,200 feet. 1,300, I guess. Like this. Bring back throttle so we don't overspeed. And let's slow down as well as descends. We can have a good look at the skyline. There's the airport. See, there's a runway right there. So let's actually bring it over to the right. Get closer to the skyline. Line up the runway. Fly straight in. That will conclude this bush trip. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We're still 3 or 4 minutes out yet. And then I have to wrap up the video. So let's just let autopilot bring us over, bring us down. Let's bring back throttles. Let's make sure we don't come down too soon because we do have terrain below us. In fact, let's use the drone view one more time while Wellington is loading everything. Come on, servers. You can do better than this. And the reason why I know it's not my machine performing this way is because once it renders it, or once it downloads it all and is all rendered in, we'll be back up to 120 frames per second. So this isn't my machine. It's just getting all the information out once, because once it's in, it'll be smooth as silk. If it were my machine, it would stay this way, right? We talk about this all the time when we fly to big areas. Alright, we really should kill autopilot now, but I really want to see that skyline. Let me readjust my chair. I was not in a flying position. I was what I was called an autopilot position. When I'm just relaxed in a different way. Let's get back to the airport. Let's get geared down. Yep. We'll do flaps in a moment. Actually, let's do flaps very soon so we can look at the skyline as we fly by. And let's give the scenery a chance to render so we have a smooth landing. What if we were to pause it? Look at all that. Jeez, Wellington. I have to look up Wellington now. Let's see what it looks like. If I were to pause it or whatever, or fly circles. See, now it's getting smooth. See? Smoother. Anyway, if I were to look at stadium. If I were to pause or fly in circles, it would catch up and it'd be smooth. But I'm not going to do that. So we're just going to deal with the jitteries for right now. Let's not go too low, please. So throttle so we ascend a little bit. Nose up at the same time so we slow down also. First set of flaps. There's the stadium and the skyline. Look at those tall buildings. Are nothing compared to the mountains behind them. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. I gotta look up Wellington now. Of course, I would love to go there someday. But Auckland too. Alright, full flap. Let me clear my throat a second. Thank goodness for editing. And let's, what is that in the sky? You see that right by the wing? What is that? Like a permanent kite? Look at these tall buildings. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I did not realize it was so beautiful here. Which is ignorant of me, because of course it would be beautiful here. Anyway, I'm very excited. I'm more excited for the South Island bush trip. That's why I'm saving it for last. And then once we do that bush trip, we'll be completely caught up on bush trips again for a month or two until the next world update comes out, which is actually going to be more than a couple months, I think. I haven't even heard them talk about it yet. So yeah, but not get too far to myself. Still have to land this plane to complete this trip. Still have to fly the next one, which I'm going to enjoy immensely. I already know it. And then we'll see what happens after that. But 2 and 2 on the Pappy. 300 foot per minute drop. Let's bring that down to 500 feet by bringing back throttles. Let's nose up to slow down and bring back throttles even more, so we don't climb. Let's not get too slow yet. This is a really big airport and a really big runway, so we're actually quite a ways away. We're probably a good half-mile away. Yeah, if you look at the thing on the right, about a quarter of a mile away now. Fifth of a mile. Tenth of a mile. So yeah, we're pretty far away. And it's huge, so it's going to look like we're going to touch down, but we're still going to be 20 feet in the air. So let's not stall early. In fact, we don't even need to stall. We have like a mile runway here. So let's just come down, get over this hump. There we go. Let it settle on down. Where's that stall horn? All by itself. Ground effects. And there we go. I couldn't even tell I landed. Nose wheel down gently. This is a hilly runway. Brakes to stop the wheels, flaps, or brakes to stop the plane, flaps coming up. And where's that save icon? We're looking for the big save icon. We're not going to get one, I already got it. There it is. Alright, cool. That's it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Subscribe so you know when the next bush trip goes live, which after editing in time, it could be tomorrow, it could be a week, who knows? It could be a month. Probably not a month. And like, so that other people know we exist. And that's it. I want to stop talking and I don't know what I'm going to do. Go to Home Depot, and I'll see you next time.